welcome back to your favorite anime channel, where we talk about the best animes in all of anime. And today, we're gonna be going balls deep into why Noelle dang it. You know what? Let's redo that. That was pathetic. And today, we're gonna be going balls deep into why Noelle Silva is one of the best written females in all of shounen. I did a video about this on my channel, but it was like only a few minutes long, and there are a ton of other things we can get into regarding her character. So, even though the title won't say it, this is kind of an extended part 2 of that video, which you need to watch because I need views and watch time and all that fun stuff. Please help me! But seriously, I really do believe that the infamous Royal Aqua Tsundere is bar none one of the absolute best written waifus in the history of this never-ending and ever-expanding genre. And that is a bold statement. I am extremely aware of that. And most of you are probably gonna be like, well, what about this one? And what about this one? And I know, I am not the most well-versed in the world of anime or manga, and there are probably lots of other characters that, at the very least, have been more well received than Noelle, like Sakura. Everyone loves her and can't stop talking about how integral she was to the plot. But it seems that only Black Clover fans really understand how great Noelle is. And that, my good friend, is what I'm hoping to fix. So sit back, relax, maybe pop a bag of popcorn, hop into that recliner, and get ready for the facts I'm about to drop right after this intro, which I made cause I'm really awesome. You can watch it on repeat right here, please. So, at this point, we all know how the story went. Noelle grew up with douchey, verbally, and borderline physically abusive siblings who told her every single day that she was the reason her mother died, which happened to happen when she was born. Now, obviously, if you've read the manga, and once again, spoiler warning, if you haven't, like legit, I'm gonna give you 3 madadas to exit off the video if you're not caught up. If you have read the manga, or just want to find out without having to do so, it turns out that not only did Noelle not kill her mother, as Noelle had told her so many times, which was obvious, but he was lying the whole time as well. He was aware of the truth, but kept it from her. He couldn't tell her the truth as to why their mother had passed, because if he did, he'd die the same way. Well, minus the whole pregnancy thing, that'd be a little weird. Basically, after their mother had been cursed by Magicula, don't forget we gotta say it like that, and anyone else who spoke of it would end up cursed as well. Sure, Noelle might have really loved Noelle and cared about her, but she didn't know that. This is important to understand because of what happens to Noelle in the future. Noelle was able to protect her siblings despite the fact that, to quote Noelle herself, she doesn't have a single positive memory of them. This spell was called Valkyrie Dress, her equivalent to Yuno's Spirit Dive in Asa's black form, except that's just her magic. No demons or elemental spirits involved whatsoever. This was the culmination of her character. There were 170 plus chapters of build-up leading to this climactic moment. And to put it simply, it's Sakura done right. Sakura had no struggle. There was nothing about her that made us feel for her. Another classic example of why this is essential to a heroine is Nami from One Piece. Now, I haven't really tackled the juggernaut of an anime, nor do I personally intend to, but I did get to see Nami's backstory, how her village had been overrun by Arlong, and she was only spared because of her talent for charting maps. This makes the audience feel for her, but even that, as well written as it is, did not have the build-up that Noelle's character arc did. I'm not saying Black Clover is better than One Piece, but there are small things it does just as well. But that's besides the point. What I'm getting at here is that Noelle's most triumphant moment, where she unleashes the power within her and is finally free from the chains of self-doubt, is more impressive than anything in a lot of other female characters' story arcs from various series across the shounen genre. However, if this were the only good thing about her character, then this whole video would be clickbait, but we don't do that here.
We don't do that here.
No, there is so much more to love about Noelle's character, and the bulk of that comes from her journey from this to this.
王族も貴族も平民も下民も関係ない。みんな一緒に楽しみなさい。
Like I said, there was 170 plus chapters of build-up, and along the way, there was a lot of growth on Noelle's part. Noelle started out as a character who was as fake could be. She acted high and mighty like she was better than everyone else because she was born into a royal family, but just underneath the surface, she was suffering and in pain. She hated herself and never knew why life had been so cruel to her. She had been blamed all her life for something she never had any control over. And speaking of not having control, she couldn't control her magic very well, and she was constantly ridiculed for it. She had never known anything but this life. She never had friends or family that she thought she could confide in. She probably had never felt real love from anyone in her 15 years of life. The acceptance of the Black Bulls was the first ounce of positivity she had ever received from anyone, and it was the beginning of what would eventually become some legendary character development. There was so much that happened to get her there, from the first spell she ever awakened to the injuries Kahono and Kiyato suffered while fighting alongside her, which allowed her to awaken her most powerful attack spell. Everything has happened solely so that she could become who she is now. Even Asta and Yuno being who they are contributed to her development. For example, when her and Yuno worked together during the Royal Knight selection exam, because of who he was, he trusted that she could take Solid down. And because she learned to trust the Black Bulls and he was so close to Asta, she knew she could trust him as well. And as a result, she defeated her older brother, who honestly had been cruising for a bruising since they were kids. As for Asta, we all know how he's impacted her. Anyone who's seen the first season of the anime knows all about his place in her life. But even more than that, Asta had the biggest impact on Yuno, and he's ultimately the reason Yuno is how he is, which is what led to that big milestone in Noelle's life. That is just one way that everything has come together, all so that Noelle could become the best written female in Black Clover. But even if things hadn't happened quite the way they did, she'd still be the most well-written female in the series, mainly because we don't know a whole lot about some of the other females, and some of them just aren't as compelling. However, along the way, Tabata, whether it was intentional or not, put her characterization in a league of its own, far above any other character in her own manga, as well as plenty of other series. He had taken the common role of female lead and given it new life in the form of this stuck-up, seemingly unlikable royal teenager. Black Clover has always excelled at giving all of its characters some kind of development and making sure everyone mattered and got screen time. But this is where it went above and beyond. From the way she grew to see peasants and those less fortunate, to the way she protected her siblings who wouldn't have done the same for her, she has truly grown to be the shining star of Black Clover, one of the most dazzling standout females in all of anime. But what's next for Noelle? How can she grow more? She already learned to control her magic, she no longer holds a grudge against her siblings, and she knows the truth of her mother's death. She even has the equivalent of her mother's signature armor at her disposal now. It kinda seems like she can only go downhill from here. She's peaked and can't get any better. The only thing we still have to look forward to is her romance with Asta, right? Wrong! There is still so much to look forward to with her character, and even if the bulk of it has passed, we still have so many other characters that need their moment, their time to triumph, and we still know next to nothing about a lot of people in this manga, so there will be no shortage of satisfying development and superb writing throughout all of Black Clover. After all, this is a series that thrives on it. Lastly, I'd like to mention that she is an extremely relatable character. Not quite as much as Asta, you know, because not everyone is rich, we've all probably been poor or in need of money at some point, and no one can legitimately use magic the way they do in Black Clover. Even though Asta has anti-magic, he still can't use actual magic, and neither can we. However, Noelle is relatable because she's been through emotional pain everyone can say they've experienced in some way, shape, or form. She's been talked down to and ridiculed, debatably a lot more than Asta, and still found a way to overcome it and set aside her pride. In a way, she's an example of how we should all be in life. Not in the sense that we need to protect and save those who have hurt us, but that we need to be the bigger people in those situations, and not let those who hurt us tear us down. We need to put all that silliness to the side and go after our dreams, be the best we can be, and not let any judgment along the way affect us. And that's exactly what Noelle, of all people, came to realize. Somehow, Asta naturally learned that, and maybe Noelle learned it from him mainly, but I stand by what I said about literally everything leading up to the Valkyrie dress reveal playing a part in her development. Even arcs that she wasn't directly involved in, like the children abduction arc. She's barely in it, but her little bit of involvement taught her that she's not the only woman interested in Asta. It really made it sink in that she isn't the only one with a chance at that hunk of a man. So now in the manga, she's being more honest and open about how she feels. Not entirely, but more than before at the very least. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I believe I've made my point about Noelle, but if you disagree and have your own opinion, we'd love to hear it. And also let us know what you thought of this video, as well as what else you'd like to see. We love talking about Black Clover, so don't be shy with your suggestions. With that being said, smash that like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!